We'll be going over IRS notice CP104. This is a notice that you might receive if the IRS has reviewed your Form 720 and made a determination that changes needed to be made. So for those of you who might not be familiar with the exact numbers of tax forms, Form 720 is a quarterly federal excise tax return. So it covers a lot of things like environmental taxes, fuel taxes, other taxes that are usually passed on to end customers. So there are a lot of small business owners that may have to file IRS Form 720 for obscure reasons. So we're going to cover this notice and walk you through what you should expect if you see CP104. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call your attention to the upper right hand corner so you can see the information about this notice. You see the notice number at the top, followed by the tax period for which this notice is covering. So this is a quarterly excise tax return, so this would be a quarterly period, presumably from October 1st to December 31st, in this case for 2016 tax year. The notice date, January 8th, 2018, employer ID number, and then a contact phone number if you have questions or want to discuss with the IRS. So I'm going to point out two things that I urge everyone to pay attention to when they receive an IRS notice. First, pay close attention to the notice date because there may be timelines that are dependent on the notice date. For example, this paying the unpaid tax amount, this is a due date of 10 days after the notice date, and then the full balance is due basically a month afterwards or 30 days afterwards. So in some notices, there isn't a specific date for a particular action item. It might be simply, please respond within 30 days. Please submit documentation within 60 days. So pay close attention to the notice date. And then the second thing I'm going to draw your attention to is the address. So you should see your taxpayer name and address here. If you recently moved either your personal residence or your business address, you should consider filing IRS Form 8822 for individual taxpayers or IRS Form 8822-B for business taxpayers. This is the official change of address form for the IRS, and the primary reason you want to do this is because if you receive an IRS notice, there are a couple of things. One, you're probably not expecting it, and two, your action items start running from the date that the notice is issued. So if your notice spends additional time in the U.S. Postal Service mail system, just floating around trying to get to you through mail forwarding, or even worse, if someone pilfers your mail and takes it, then you're still going to be held responsible because the IRS is going to say, hey, you should have updated your address so we would have sent the correspondence to the correct address. So we'll put links in the show notes to the resources we create about the forms that we mentioned here to include the change of address forms. So let's take a deeper look at the notice itself. So on the left-hand side, it says this was about your Form 720, which we've covered, and the reason why is because of tax deposits. So let's take a look at the billing summary. The IRS states a tax that the taxpayer owes, and then payments that you may have made, and then there is a series of penalties. A failure to pay penalty, a failure to file penalty, a failure to make a proper federal tax deposit penalty, and then interest charges, which aren't penalties, but interest is calculated on both an outstanding tax as well as any penalties that may apply. So if you agree with the IRS's assessment, then you're going to need to pay the unpaid tax, which is the difference between these two, by 10 days after the notice date, and then the full balance, which includes all of the penalties and interest charges within 30 days of that notice date to avoid any additional interest or penalty charges. So it's very clear here. If you make that complete payment by February 8th, then the IRS will stop collecting interest or charging interest and penalties. Now, if you only pay this $10,197.99, there's going to be a nominal amount about $350. Interest and penalties will still accrue on that, so keep that in mind. At the bottom of page 1 is a voucher in case you want to cut this out and mail it to the IRS. You should make your check or money order payable to the U.S. Treasury, and then write your employer ID number, the tax period, and then the form number on that payment, as well as any correspondence. But you can put that voucher in there, mail them a check. You can also pay online if you're set up for that. So additional action items. If you cannot pay the full balance, then you may consider requesting an installment plan. You can either go online, you can call the IRS, or you can file IRS Form 9465, which is the installment plan application, and we'll put a link in the show notes to that. So if you think that there's been a mistake, call the 800 number listed on your notice. Have your tax records available to include your payment information, a copy of your tax return. So you should call as soon as practical so that you can kind of work through your difference of opinion with the IRS. So if the IRS does not hear from you, then they're going to continue charging additional penalties. So here's a change of contact information. If you wish to notify the IRS. This section specifically states the error that they found or the discrepancy that the IRS believes they have found between what you reported versus what they recorded. So tax calculations, there is an additional tax apparently from Schedule C. So the total claim before taxes is $19,107.99. They added $90 to bring that up to $19,197.99. History of deposits. So there's the breakdown of the $9,000 that was summarized on page 1. This is a list of all the different payments that were credited to your account. If I were in this position, I would be specifically looking for any missing deposits. It does look like that the IRS either missed crediting certain deposits or certain deposits were not made specifically for July, October, November, December of that tax year. And for 4 months, basically, if there's $1,000, it doesn't completely wipe out the debt, but it gets you a little bit closer to that ballpark. It still looks like there is probably some under withholding, so this would be an opportunity to make those adjustments as well. On page 4, there's a breakdown of the failure to pay penalty, how the IRS assesses it, how they calculate it, followed by the failure to make a proper federal tax deposit penalty, a failure to file penalty, and then there's a section about how you may be able to request an abatement or a removal or a reduction of penalties based on extenuating circumstances. This contains a breakdown of how interest charges are calculated. So these are all the different interest rates or the interest rate schedule over certain periods of time. This breakdown doesn't seem to help us determine anything about taxes that may have been applied from 2016 on, but you can go to the IRS website and pull down listings of interest, and there is plenty of information on the IRS website that walks you through interest rate calculations. Now, the IRS does not have a lot of discretion when it comes to abating interest. However, any penalties that are abated, the interest that's associated to those with those penalties usually is removed. So if you either clear up IRS records and the penalty is removed on its own accord, or if you request abatement by filing IRS Form 843, either way you may be able to reduce the amount of interest simply by having those penalties abated. There's additional information. Additional interest charges, if you owe $100,000 or more, then the IRS kind of escalates you into a higher level category of, taxpayer, where you get a little bit of additional scrutiny. And then there's additional information that you can call. You can check out the IRS website. And what we're going to do is we're simply going to go navigate to this page that discusses the notice, right? And probably the one thing that you can see here is frequently asked questions. So this is a good place to check out if you have a question that wasn't addressed in the notice. So that's the primary benefit of this separate page. And I think we covered everything else. So as I mentioned, we'll put links in the show notes to the resources we created about various tax forms. As of this writing, I have not created an article or a video specifically about Form 720. If someone out there specifically needs that article written, please hit me up in the show notes and I'll bump that on my priority list. So if you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. And if you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, comments, or if there's a topic that you'd like to see covered in an upcoming video, please hit me up in the comment section. Thank you very much and have a great day.